I say we just blast him and get the reward ourselves.
Who are you, kid? You couldn't hit the broadside of a bandit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't hit the broadside of a sandcrawler.
Really?
Really?
Well, you couldn't hit the broadside of an Imperial Walker.
Is that so?
Yes, it is.
Well, you couldn't hit the broadside of a Superstar Destroyer.
Oh, yeah? Doofus says what?
What?
Besides, neither one of you can hit the broadside of Alderaan. I could. That was you. Guilty as charged.
Wow. You blowed it up good.
Really?
Really good.
It was nothing. Just a couple lever bowls, a few flip switches. Blammo. Alderaan, go bye-bye. How could you be so insensitive? There were kitties on that planet.
What?
Wait a minute. There were kitties?
Oh my goodness.
You monster!
You? Just go back to your corner. But, yes, sir.
Hey, did you see the new T-16?
Oh, yeah. You still like those, huh? You know, I remember the last time you asked me that question. We were on the Death Star guarding the power grid.
Right. Right before all the shooting started. I'm surprised I remember that.
Why do you say that?
Well, right before that, I was storming Sector 4's control station, and I totally bashed my head on the blaster door. Embarrassing.
That was you? I saw that on the security cam. We all saw it. Hey, you in the back. Roll that security footage.
No, don't!
Roll it! Okay, here you are. You're walking, and then... wham! Let's see that again.
That is the Sector 4's funniest videos.
Okay, here you go. All seems fine, and then... bam! That had to hurt. 31 years, and it's still just as funny.
You know what else is fun to watch?
What?
How about my favorite episode of the Donnie and Marie Show, featuring a certain somebody shaking his groove thing?
You wouldn't.
Oh, yes, I would. Roll it. Look at him go. Work it. Shake it. Shake that moneymaker. It's birthday. Shake what your mama gave you in the galaxy. Yeah.
Come on! That's you, huh? I was young and I needed the money. Alright, fun's over. Back to your patrol. That was funny, though. I almost soiled my underwear. Alright, joke's over.
Here comes the big finish. Sure you don't want to perform a big kick line finale?
That's a great idea. What? No way. Who here wants to see Twinkle Toes dance? You heard him. Do it. Dance, monkey. Fine. Commander.
Shake it.
Commander. Oh, come on.
Maybe next time try to embarrass me in front of strangers.
Oh, sickening great. How can you follow that powerful musical masterpiece with this? Voodoo. Should we blast him?
You couldn't hit the broadside of a space slug, Baryshnikov.
Well, at least I know how to dog. Am I gonna have to separate you two? We are separated. One more trick from you, and I'm gonna separate you like Darth Maul.
Making sure they're upside down.
Look at them. They look pitiful. Should I let them out of timeout? Why am I asking you? Alright, you three, back to your posts. And as for all of you, I couldn't help notice the signs behind us. So, who here has joined or is going to join the Rebel Alliance? Let me hear you. Make note of those individuals. Alright. Now, who here has joined or is going to join the most powerful force in the galaxy, the Empire? Come on! Okay. Rebel Alliance. Empire. Rebel Alliance. Empire. Right. I'll report this information to Lord Vader.
You know, those lightsabers some of the rebels have are really neat.
Did he just say neat? Afraid so. You know, he's never been right since he smacked his head on the blaster door.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Hey, I've been working on some impressions. You want to hear them? Sure. How about you? You want to hear them? Well, if you insist. All right. See if you can guess who I am now. You's a thinking you's a people gonna die? And squeeze me. Jar Jar Binks. Bingo.
I didn't get it.
Don't you have a wall to run into? Do another one. Okay. See if you can guess this one. Backward test. Make no sense to our Did you get that one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got that one. That was a good one. I'm laughing because it was funny.
He sure didn't get it.
I got one. See if you can guess who I am. No. Who am I? Here's another hint. Where's Padme? No.
Oh my gosh!
Who's your daddy? He's right behind me, isn't he? Okay. Nice working with you boys.
Bye. Don't forget to clock out.
Wars Weekend's host, Warwick Davis.
I don't know.
What?
I have a bad feeling about this.
He'll be just fine.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
He will do a fine job.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I'm bringing him on stage, and you will like him.
That's impossible!
Now listen here. He will do a fabulous job. Liar! You Skywalkers are so whiny.
What did you say?
I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. Oh, that's real mature. Are you crying? You stay out of this, Wicket. I have 3 words for you. Caravan of Courage. Yeah, that's what I thought.
The dark side I sense in you.
Don't give me any of your sass, Yoda. I could have you digitally replaced with Hayden Christensen anytime I want to. He is coming out, and he will be wonderful. Period.
It's a trap!
I said that was enough. Don't make me call George. What? No.
This bickering is pointless.
That's better. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Star Wars Weekend's host, Warwick Davis.
Hello! Hello everyone, welcome! Hello, thank you very much indeed. Welcome to the Stars of the Saga Star Wars Celebrity Talk Show. You having a good time at Star Wars Weekends? Yeah! Oh, it's good to see so many of you here. It's really fantastic. I'm sorry, there's a guy yawning down here. I felt like I was going to fall in the Sarlacc pit. No, it's fabulous to see you. Actually, sorry, I've just noticed these on the table here. Does anyone know what these are? Yeah, these were the actual bowlers that I swung around my head as Wicket in Return of the Jedi. Do you remember the moment? Yeah. Let's take a look at that now. We've got that. We've got that on screen. There we are. Great. Fantastic. I wonder if I can still do that. It was some time ago. It's over 26 years ago. Let's just have a go. Let's reenact this right now for you live. Okay? Just get your cameras ready. This is a photo opportunity coming up here. So you're going to have to imagine now, this is the log. Okay? We're in the Endor Forest. Let's give this a go. Here we go. Okay? Look at that. I can still do it after all these years. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh!
Oh, now I've seen it all.
Oh, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Ben, what are you doing here?
Well, I sensed you were back at the world they call Disney, so I thought I'd pop over and give you some more guidance in the ways of the talk show host.
Oh, listen, Ben, this is my second year as host. I really don't need any
Warwick,
guidance. Yes?
you must complete your training.
Of course, yes.
The dark side is powerful, easier, more seductive.
Yes.
Don't take the path Jerry Springer did.
Oh.
He was once a pupil of mine.
It's all right. Well, thank you, Ben. I shall be careful.
I'll be here if you need me.
Oh, that's super. Ladies and gentlemen, Obi-Wan Kenobi! Wow. I tell you, everyone's here at Star Wars Weekends. Now, it's time to introduce my first guest today. He plays one of the Star Wars saga's most popular and beloved characters. Without this man, Chewie wouldn't even be a walking carpet. Now, before I say mind your head and invite him on stage, let's see him in action. the sky and welcome the Ewok on steroids, the mighty Chewbacca himself, Mr. Peter Mayhew. Peter.
Hello, Warwick. How are you?
Welcome, take a seat there. It's really great to see you, Peter, here at
It's
Star Wars
wonderful
Weekend.
to be here.
Are you having fun?
I always have fun at Disney.
What's your favourite ride here at Walt Disney World?
The rock and roller coaster.
Roller coaster. Yeah.
And Space Mountain, or whatever. The
Space Mountain. The roller
Space
coaster. You
Mountain,
like roller coasters.
Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult for me. I don't actually pass the height restrictions on any of those.
I was going to say, you must have a problem.
I do. It's not a problem for you, though, sir.
No, I unscrew my legs and put them inside so that.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Peter, I've chatted to you a couple of times before, but I just didn't want to ask the same old questions. I'm sure you've heard them all before, so I've done a bit of research, okay?
Yeah.
And I think I've come up with some questions that you might never have heard before, so let's start off with those. How tall are you?
7'2".
7'2", good. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Do you have a really big bed?
Yes, it's 9 foot wide, 9 foot long.
Good, okay, yeah, we're doing
You're doing
that.
marvellous.
Thank you. And what's your shoe size?
It's about 18.
18?
18, 4H. So it's wide and long.
Wide and long, brilliant.
It boxes.
Of course, Peter, we're talking about your shoe size then, you're talking about your feet. Now your feet were very important, weren't they, to you?
Extremely important.
Your feet were your entry into this business we call show.
Yes. Well, cut a long story short, I was working with a little guy. Not your size little guy, a bit bigger. And this guy was looking for people with big feet for the Guinness Book of Records.
Right.
He saw us, took a picture, picture went into the paper, and a producer was coming home from one of the studios. They were looking for someone to play a Minotaur in Sinbad and the Island Tiger. Ta-da! Peter's the one, and it got me into Ray Harryhausen's world.
Yeah.
And I was the Minotaur, I rode the boats and used all the stuff when they wanted big people as against models.
And then of course you were spotted by George Lucas.
Yes, recommendations to George for the
Fantastic.
Star Wars and Chewie was born, and here we are today.
It's a wonderful story that, Peter, because like so many actors involved with Star Wars, my story is the same, and I know Jeremy Bullock's is the same. You kind of fell into the role by chance in a way.
Well, yes, when you're my size, the opportunity only comes once.
And you grasp that. Totally.
You get hold of it two-handed and go with it, and fortunately, with a wonderful character.
Well, it was down to your wonderful performance, I think, wasn't it?
Yes,
because, you know, Chewbacca isn't Chewbacca without Peter Mayhew.
True,
we all know that.
Even George has said this.
Yeah, so you did a fantastic job. And we've got a little bit of video which takes us back now, Peter, to 1977 and your memories of that time. Let's have a look.
I put that mask on and Chewie transformed.
Wow.
Me. I transformed. The attitude was different. The walk was different. Chewie turned on. Do the scenes, come back, take the mask off. Peter was back.
Action.
That old man's mad.
You said it, Chewie.
Now, Peter, talk to us now a little bit about Chewbacca's character. Did you study real animals? What was your inspiration?
You obviously look at various things because Chewie is a cross between a bear and a dog.
Right, a bear and a dog, yeah.
Bear and a dog with a little bit of chimpanzee thrown in.
Just thrown in for
Just
good
thrown in
measure.
for good measure.
Okay, fine.
You go and you watch them the way they walk, but it's more of the costume that gives you that feeling of what you can do and what you can't do with it.
Right, but underneath there, once you're in all of that outfit, you're going through a different thought process. You're thinking like Chewbacca, yeah.
You're thinking, I wonder how long this is going to take.
That's thinking like Peter, that is.
No, Chewie thinks very similarly.
Does he?
Because Harrison is always running you. We can do this, we can do that. You've got to think, hang on, what about the history that went before before this movie was made.
Yes.
All the characters, all the characters are built up.
They've got a backstory.
They've got a backstory, which hasn't come out at that particular time.
Now, you're very modest about all this, Peter, but I know that on The Empire Strikes Back, for example, you were taken ill one day, and they brought another tall chap in. They thought, well, we'll get someone else the same height as Peter, put the costume on, we'll be all set. They filmed for a day, but they couldn't use any of it.
It didn't work, purely because my body works in a different, moves in a different way.
Yeah.
And they put this guy in the costume, put the 3PO backpack on. He nearly fell over with it because it was weighed about 40 pounds. And Kirsch was we were doing the running scene towards the Falcon. And Kirsch went, this ain't gonna work. So they moved on, and fortunately, it was a weekend, so come Monday, Peter was back, and Chewie was reborn.
And of course,
we carried on and did it.
And of course, you're that important to the role that you were actually brought back for Revenge of the Sith. Tell us about that.
That was fabulous. I knew that Chewie would be able to, was around, because he's around in the beginning of episode 4. So he must be around because he's old enough. He will be younger. So I had a feeling all these years, and it just went, and I figured, right, if they want me, it's fine. If they don't, I can live with this particular character. Fortunately, they needed me because it was more expensive to do it CGI. They tried it CGI, it just didn't work because of all the hair. So they tried Yoda, that worked. But Chewie, no, didn't
You're
work.
very, very important to that role, Peter. You certainly are.
It's lovely.
Now, I'm looking here, and this was a very important scene from the end of A New Hope there.
Yeah.
And something that I know has troubled you, and troubles me, and I'm sure many fans, is that we see poor old Chewie standing there, and he didn't get a medal.
I know.
He didn't get a medal.
I was disgusted. I really was.
It is a shame. Now,
I think I ought to get one medal on that.
Don't worry about it. We're here in Walt Disney World. This is the place where dreams come true, and today we're going to make Chewie's dreams come true with a little bit of Disney magic. So let's just try this. There. Chewie has a medal. Isn't that right? What do you mean?
Only one. Long service. Come on. I've been here for 30 years.
All right. Have we got another medal? Have we got any more Disney magic for another medal? There, Chewie. Are you happy now? Is that enough?
No, well, if you throw in a spare one, I'll deal with it.
He wants another one now, ladies and gentlemen. He wants another one. Okay. I think it's starting to look a bit over the top now. I think
okay. 3 medals will do.
Oh, there's more. Look at that.
Well, when you work it out, it's not 3. It's 1.
Look at that. So
50 years as well. Certainly better.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Mayhew. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask Peter to stay with me as I introduce my next guest. For over a decade, he promoted road safety in the UK as the Green Cross Code Man. Then he got crossed with a man wearing green, an Imperial officer, in Star Wars as Darth Vader. This character has been voted one of the screen villains of all time. Is he? You decide.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. The power of Darth.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves to experience a disturbance in the Force. Feel honoured and very afraid as you welcome the Dark Lord himself, Mr. Dave Prowse, MBE. Being here. Big crowd today to see you, Dave. Both of you. Thank you. 2 giants of the Star Wars universe, quite literally. Quite literally. Now, Dave, I was going to ask you, the MBE at the end of your name there,
That's
MBE,
right.
what does that stand for?
It means I'm a member of the Order of the British Empire, which is an award from the Queen, Queen of England, for services to road safety and charity.
Fantastic.
I had 14 years.
You're a member of the British Empire, but you're also a member of the Empire as well.
The Galactic.
Absolutely. Two empires. A little bit greedy, that. Now, your big break into this world of showbiz was through your bodybuilding and your weightlifting achievements. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was a bodybuilder for about 10 years, from the time I was 15 to the time I was about 25. And I eventually got invited to enter the Mr. Universe contest, which was quite an experience. And at the end of the competition, the chief of the judges came out to me and they said, "Look, you will never ever win the Mr. Universe." And I said, "Well, why not? I'm the biggest competitor you've ever had. I'm 6'7". I'm knocking on about 280 pounds at the moment." And they said, "Oh no, it's nothing to do with your physique." They said, "You've got ugly feet." So I thought, well, if that's what bodybuilding, I'll chuck it in and go into competitive weightlifting. And so in 1961, I had third place in the British Weightlifting Championships. In '62, I won it, and I became the British Heavyweight Weightlifting Champion. And I did the World Championships in Budapest. I did the Empire and Commonwealth Games in Perth. '63, I won again. '64, I won again. And then '64, we were training to go to Tokyo for the Olympic Games. And I qualified and I'd been selected for the team. And at the very last minute, the Weightlifting Association got in touch and said, "Ever so sorry, but we haven't got enough money to send a heavyweight to Tokyo, so you won't be going." So that was a sort of big disappointment for me, not to go to the Olympics.
What was that to do with, like excess baggage or something on the plane?
No, excess baggage on me, probably.
Now, Dave, you trained a lot of celebrities as well, didn't you?
That's right. Well, I had 3 gymnasiums in my career. Well, 4 gymnasiums actually. But I had the three main ones. I trained all sorts of different celebrities. I mean, I always remember my very first famous celebrity was Albert Finney, who was obviously one of Britain's greatest actors.
Of course.
And it was quite interesting because he used to come into the gym and do a little bit of training and then go into the sauna. And it was quite normal for you to go into the sauna and sit down next to Albert Finney and have a chat with Albert Finney.
Well, another great actor that you trained, you may not remember this, was me, of course.
That's right.
I
remember it well.
We have a little clip of it here. Me at your gym, doing a bit of training.
You were 11 years old then, weren't you?
I was 11 years old,
yeah, 11,
yes.
Yeah.
We do have some footage here of this.
With a bit of luck.
What's this? Not what I had in mind, but I'll try it anyway.
Warming up there. Oops, there we go.
I might have beaten him pound for pound.
Yeah, I might have beaten you pound for pound. A long time ago. Now, so due to your extreme size and obviously strength, you were cast as Darth Vader. But tell us just about that casting, how that actually came about.
Well, the thing was, in 1970, I did a very famous film, Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange. Anybody see a Clockwork Orange? It was a major step in my career, in as much that I'd worked for Stanley Kubrick, and the mere fact that I'd worked for Stanley Kubrick, I suddenly became sort of Dave Prowse actor. Instead of being sort of Dave Prowse the heavy and the monster and the creature, I suddenly became sort of Dave Prowse actor. And I was being offered all sorts of things, everything from Shakespeare to, I did the Open University drama course and all sorts of different things. And fortunately what happened was the film came out in 1971, came out very briefly in 71, and then got taken off because Stanley Kubrick started getting all sorts of death threats over the sort of the sexuality of the film and the violence of the film. And but luckily for me, George Lucas saw the movie during that very short period and remembered me for 5 years and came over to London in 1976. And I got a call from the managing director of 20th Century Fox, who I knew personally. And he said, I got this fellow over from America called George Lucas, and he wants to see you. And I said, he said, can you come up to the offices? He said, so I went up to the 20th Century Fox offices, and I got introduced to Bunny Allsop to start with, and then she introduced me to George, and then George turned around to me and said, well, look, I'm doing this film called Star Wars. I saw you in Clockwork Orange. And he said, if you're good enough for Stanley Kubrick, you're good enough for me. And he said, I'd like to offer you one of 2 parts in the movie. And the first part was Chewbacca, and I said, what's Chewbacca? And he said, well, it's like a hairy gorilla that goes through the film on the side of the goodies, like that. And I thought, well, do I want 3 months in a sort of gorilla suit, as it were? He said, and, no. I said, no, I don't fancy that very much, George. I said, what's the other one? He said, well, the other one's the big villain of the film. And I like a character called Darth Vader. And I said, well, don't say any more, George, I'll have the villain's part, thank you. And he said, tell me for why. Tell me for why. And I said, well, if you think back on all the movies that you've ever seen where there are goodies and baddies, I said, you always remember the
villain.
I said, you think back on all the James Bond movies, I said, you remember people like Dr. No, you remember Oddjob, you remember Goldfinger, you remember Jaws, you remember Scaramanga, you remember Blofeld, you remember all these terrible villains. Sorry.
I'm just imagining if things had been reversed.
I said, but you tell me who played James Bond in the movie. And he said, Dave, he said, I think you've made a very wise decision. He said, because nobody will ever forget Darth Vader.
And I haven't.
And here we are, 30 years later.
And
can I just add, Peter came in and played Chewbacca, and I think did an absolutely fantastic job of playing Chewbacca. So I think it was a wonderful
memorable scenes, I think, from the entire Star Wars saga, at least in the classic trilogy, was the moment that Darth Vader exclaims that he is Luke Skywalker's father. And we're just going to remind ourselves of that moment, and I believe you have a story about it. Let's just take a look.
It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did. There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you. You do not yet realize your importance. You have only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. I'll never join you! If you only knew the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
Well, I think we kind of cut Luke off in his prime there. What was he about to say? No. Yeah, a little bit of feeling next time. Okay, just tell us briefly about that moment and how it all kind of played out.
Well, the thing was that before we started the scene, by all accounts, George took Mark away to one side and said, look, you've got the right dialogue. Dave Prowse hasn't got the right dialogue. He's got the original dialogue before we changed this particular ending. And he said, so don't take any notice whatsoever of what Dave Prowse is saying. And he said, just you carry on in the normal way. Well, what happened, we were up on this gantry, and they had a huge aeroplane propeller behind us, which was blowing like mad, making a fantastic amount of noise. And of course, I couldn't hear a word that Mark was saying, and he couldn't hear a word that I was saying. But every sentence that I spoke, it was all emphasized with gestures, you see? And then I was watching Mark, and I was watching his lips moving. And as soon as his lips stopped moving, then I would come in with my dialogue. And that was how the whole scene worked. But it wasn't until I actually went to the premiere of Empire Strikes Back, which was in, I think it was Los Angeles. We all flew out to Los Angeles for the Empire Strikes Back premiere. And there we are, I'm watching the movie, And there I am up there saying, "But Luke, I am your father." Oh my God, that's news to me.
Brilliant, ladies and gentlemen.
Of
course you can, yes.
The funny thing was that Mark was sat 2 rows in front of me, and he said, "I was absolutely frightened to death." He said, "I thought Dave Prowse was going to vault over 2 rows of seats and smash me in the face for not telling him the real dialogue, you see." And then another, Harrison Ford wrote in a newspaper article somewhere. He said that Dave Prowse got up from his seat, went out into the foyer, and smashed Irving Kershner in the shoulder. I never did anything of the sort like that. So why didn't you tell me the right dialogue? You know, so
brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Prowse. I've been up here doing all the hard work, being thoroughly entertaining, I think. But now it's time for you to do some of the work. It's time for you, the audience, to ask the questions, to take my place. Not literally, the stage isn't big enough, and quite frankly, you don't look as good. So I believe we've got Jim out here somewhere with some questions. Do we? We don't.
Yes.
Oh, you're right over there today. Come on in over. That's it. Okay, let's see what we have here.
We have Brian from Tampa.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I just want to say thank you, first of all, for your wonderful contributions. And my question is actually to all 3. How much of your personality were you able to bring to the characters, and vice versa? How much did you take home with you?
Okay, good. So how much of you is in Chewie? I think we kind of found out there was quite a lot of Peter in Chewie.
There's probably about 70% of me. The walk, the actions, the eye movements and the head movements. But to doing the other way, how much did I take away from it?
Dave, a percentage of Vader in you, sir?
I would say nil, actually. I just say that to me, Darth Vader was a great acting role. And people come back to me and they say, "Oh, you're nothing like Vader, are you?" And I say, "No." I said, "That was acting. That was acting."
Yeah, absolutely. As for Wicked the Ewok, I mean, way back then when I was 11 years old, I mean, I think as a kid, you have this sort of natural curiosity, and I think that really came into play when I was in the suit, and I would, for example, see R2-D2 on the set. Quite literally, my own curiosity got the better of me, and I thought I'll go and have a look and kind of check this out, as I felt the character would do. And those kind of moments were picked out by the filmmakers, and they used to make little scenes out of my kind of ad-libbing sort of natural 11-year-old curiosity. Oh, look, isn't he sweet there? Lovely. Next question here, please.
All right, we have Stephanie from Orlando.
Yes.
How have your life changed when you made all episodes of Star Wars?
How have our lives changed since being in Star Wars?
Dave? I'm still Dave Prowse. I still live in the same house. I still have the same wife. The same children. Years ago, there used to be a very famous cigarette ad in Great Britain called Peter Stuyvesant. And a guy used to come on at the end of this thing, and he used to light up the cigarette and he used to go, "Peter Stuyvesant, passport to international travel." And I think of myself, Star Wars, passport to international travel.
How can you top that? Because all of us have changed.
I mean, it does. We travel the world. We come to wonderful events like Star Wars weekends, which is fantastic.
You're there, you're transported, you're enjoying people, you have fun, and you carry on with the Star Wars saga.
But it's amazing, Star Wars last year celebrated its 30th anniversary, and little did we know way back then that it would still be such an influence in our personal and professional lives. So it's absolutely brilliant. Last question, I'm afraid.
All right, we have Bill from New Jersey.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, this question is for all of you. In what episode did you star in that you liked the most?
Okay, which was your favourite episode that you were in?
For me, I think it was Empire.
Yes.
I've always felt of the 3 Star Wars movies that I was in, Empire, I had the nicest experience of working on Empire. I thought Irving Kershner was a wonderful, very, very feeling director. And had a great a really nice association with him. And I always felt, to be perfectly honest, that Empire was like the adult version of Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars was a great movie, but as I said, I always just felt that it was a much deeper and a stronger movie.
Do you agree with those comments?
Yeah, I think Empire for me, because it brought Chewie from a minor character into the major, Leia, Luke, and it just brought him up there. As I say, Dave says, Kirsch was a great director. He knew what he wanted, and he could transpose it to you.
He was marvelous because he would sit down with you, and explain everything to you. Yeah. And which George never did. I mean, George used to say something like, "You come in here, you deliver your lines there, and you walk off there," and that was it. Like that was George's direction. Whereas Irvin would sit down with you and say, "Well, look, this is what you want to be thinking about because you've just been there, and you've killed 3 stormtroopers and 4 captains." And you're now going off to somewhere else where you're not very happy with the situation there, and you had all this going on. It was a wonderful explanation as to how the film was working.
Fantastic. Well, gentlemen, you've both been wonderful this afternoon. Can I hear it one more time from Mr. Dave Prowse? As has become tradition here at Star Wars Weekends, we like to say farewell to you in a very sort of traditional Disney way. So we just need to get some props here to do that. So we have the lovely Mickey Mouse hats for you. Oh, great. I mean, Dave.
Something I've always wanted.
Excellent. I should don mine now.
Oh my God.
So now we're going to sing the Mickey Mouse song for you, ladies and gentlemen, now with the help of a couple of other people. So can I have a C now, please? So I can find my key. Is it too high? That's too low now. That's good. And now it's time to say goodbye
to all our boys. MIC.
See you real soon.
Why you care?
It's better?
Because she loves you.
Everyone.